I keep all my purses. This one here is really special. If my house is on fire, I would take this one. Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. This that you've just seen, the perlage, you need to be very skilled and very, very good.
Supply behind product. Bags are from Siton Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years, and it produces 80% of the world luxury bags.
Speaking to this client here regarding selling her Birkin 30 Gris Etane, if I'm not wrong. Gris Etane is the color, and it's palladium hardware. The bag is in box fresh condition, but it's Y stamp, which means it's a 2020.
They say, I want to buy one of these. You know what they say to you? No, we don't have them. First of all, you have to be Hermès customers. You have to demonstrate that you like the brand, and then you can only buy one.
Meanwhile, the brands, they're sitting back, counting stacks and sipping champagne. But Hermès, whew, they're spiraling. The luxury empire just threw down a lawsuit against the exact Chinese factories that snitched and blew their billion-dollar cover wide open. And now, the entire fashion industry is shook to the core.
First time shopping at Hermès, and let me tell you how it went.
We got a lot of requests, do Hermès next, and that's why we're here in the Highland Park.
Almost finished bags from China factories, back to their own factories, and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that.
These factories weren't just running some underground fake Birkin hustle. They were making the real thing. Yup, the same Birkins and Kellys that Hermès sells for $20,000 plus a pop. Turns out they've been mass-producing the bags behind the scenes, and now they're exposing everything. We're talking leaked factory receipts, insider messages, and viral TikToks pulling the velvet curtain straight off those Made in France labels. The glam fantasy?
Over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
It's unraveling fast. Hermès built their whole identity on the image of slow, dreamy craftsmanship, like a cozy Parisian workshop where master artisans work in silence, soft jazz playing, hand-stitching one bag at a time under candlelight. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Wrong! According to the bomb receipts exposed by Tanner Leather, up to 80% of those so-called French luxury bags, made in China, start to finish.
So Hermès has put out a response to China, and they have like a video in a factory sort of showing people trying to show that they're actually the ones who are making the bags in a factory somewhere.
Not just a few spare parts either. We're talking cutting, stitching, threading, tanning, all of it. By the time those bags even sniff France, they're basically done and boxed. This isn't just a fashion scandal, it's a full-on luxury earthquake.
Finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
And Hermès is out here scrambling for damage control, but the truth's already out, and the internet ain't letting it go. Here's the dirty little trick Hermès been running. Get ready. They send the whole bag to be made in China, then bring it to France just to snap on a button or stamp a logo. That's it. Boom! Suddenly it's made in France. Total illusion, and people been buying into it for years. But once those Chinese factories started airing it all out with screenshots and factory receipts,
boots in China. And that is these boots right here. This is pretty much the Ugg boot that like most Americans will have in their house. I was very pissed off when I found out the truth because I grew up in Southern California. I remember being in elementary school when I would only see 2 people in the entire school wearing Ugg boots, and they were always the cool surfer kids.
Hermès straight up panicked. And then came Tanner Leatherstein, aka the real MVP of luxury exposés. This ain't just some loud TikTok dude. Tanner is a leather guru with a cult following. And when he talks?
Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Cheatily. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way, because some brands get real creative when it comes to that cut open, just expensive, nothing special. But if you truly accept.
People listen. He's known for buying designer bags and cutting them open on camera. Yeah, slicing right through them to show what's really inside. No filter, no fluff.
As your daughter drawing on your $60,000 Birkin, am I right?
Yeah. I couldn't even be mad at her because when I asked her, I was like, I wanted to see if she was gonna tell me the truth. I was like, Coach, did you draw on mommy's purse?
Literally spent $60,000 on this purse. Look what my daughter did to me.
He was the first to blast Chanel for faking gold hardware and using cheap plastic-coated leather. He's already dragged Louis Vuitton, Bottega Veneta, and yup, Hermès too. And when he tore into those bags, he proved the leather quality was no better than some $100 street knockoff.
The latest Hermès bag with me. This is my first bag I got this year. I usually only get one bag a year, and this is the one for this year, and I'm really excited about it.
But the wildest part? He broke down the real cost to make a Birkin. Around $600. Not $14,000, not $38,000. $600. And that's with real leather and proper hardware. Now imagine Hermès watching all this play out in real time. Viral videos, angry customers, exposés going global. Yeah, they're sweating hard.
Anna is wearing a fake Louis Vuitton fanny pack and she didn't know it. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why I know that this Louis Vuitton bag.
And let's be clear, this ain't about some fake bag operation. These Chinese manufacturers were making the real Hermès bags. Then they turned around and exposed everything. They dropped bomb receipts showing that a whopping 80% of the work gets done in China. All the cutting, stitching, shaping, the real grind. France? Just a quick touch-up at the end.
Your mom is real. Don't love me because of no diamonds. Take all this. This bracelet right here look real as a. This shit was $23.
Meanwhile, Hermès been selling dreams, charging sky-high prices off the image of pure Parisian craftsmanship. But behind the fantasy? Straight-up cover-up mode. So what's Hermès's next move? Do they come clean? Apologize? Please. They went full panic mode and hit back with lawsuits. They're now suing multiple Chinese factories claiming misuse of intellectual property and even defamation. Basically crying, "How dare you tell the truth about our not-so-French bags?" But here's where it gets real messy. Those same Chinese factories weren't rogue bootleggers. They were under real, signed contracts with luxury brands. These weren't knockoffs. They were the official producers. Now that the truth is out, Hermès acting like they've never heard of them before. Like, who dis? Make it make sense. Hermès made $15.2 billion in 2024 alone. That's millions of bags sold worldwide. And if making just one Birkin takes 2 full days by hand, where's this magical army of French artisans pumping them out non-stop? The math? Ain't mathin'. The vibes? Fraudulent. And let's be real, Hermès ain't the only one pulling this slick trick. Word is, brands like Prada are sliding into the same mess too. And it's about to get even messier. Chanel and Louis Vuitton? Oh, they're deep in this too. These brands are out here making 98% of their bags in China. Then they toss on a zipper or stitch a button in Italy just so they can legally flex that Made in Italy tag. It's a slick game, a full-blown con. And folks been eating it up because of that shiny prestige. But now, people are waking up, and resale prices starting to drop fast. Buyers are realizing they spent $25,000 on a bag that came out the same exact factory as a $400 dupe, and they are livid. Tanner's been exposing bags that swear they're made from premium calf skin, only for him to cut them open and show it's just cheap plastic-coated leather, aka PE junk. No wonder collectors are sweating and high-end shoppers are snapping. 'Cause here's the question, if Hermès and the rest ain't really about quality or craftsmanship, what were folks paying for? A logo? A fantasy? Just a fancy story dressed up in gold? For years, Western luxury brands pushed the lie that made in China equals low quality. But that myth is dead. Modern Chinese factories are crushing it now. They've got top-tier leather, skilled workers, and machinery that rivals, or even beats, Europe's finest. Real talk. A lot of luxury bags are made in the same exact places as mid-tier brands and even knockoffs. The stitching, the leather, the process, nearly identical. The only real difference? That little tag they sew on at the end. That's it. And now that the smoke's clearing, the whole luxury world's looking real shaky. So when somebody says, "That bag's made in China, don't get it twisted," it doesn't mean it's trash. Truth is, it might actually be better than what's getting handmade in France. Real ones know. There's tons of stories out there about people getting factory extras with no logos, but they're the exact same bag as the $5,000 version. Just minus the hype. One creator even bragged she copped real-deal UGG boots straight from the same factory for $5. The only thing missing? That little label. See, the Western media have been feeding folks the same tired lie. China equals cheap, Europe equals elite. But once you pull back the curtain, it's all just smoke, mirrors, and marketing spin. Most of these brands, they're owned by private equity giants, not artisan families. It's big business. Straight-up machines cranking out overpriced stuff for people who don't know better. But now, people are finally waking up, and the luxury world is scrambling to keep the illusion alive. Tanner Leather? He's not on some payroll. He's not pushing products. He's just here, dropping facts, showing the materials, the builds, the truth. He even sliced open his own $1,800 wallet stash to prove what you're really paying for, and every time, the results were mad disappointing. But let's really talk. These luxury brands wouldn't even be running the game if it wasn't for celebrities flashing bags like their championship trophies. You really think Cardi B, Kim K, or Kylie are dropping their own money on stacks of Birkins and Chanel bags? Please? Most of the time, they're either gifted or straight up paid to flex those bags in public. It's all part of the illusion, fame, status, and that stitched-on dream. It's called strategic placement, and the game is dirty. A brand hands Cardi B a $60,000 Birkin, she flashes it on Instagram, and boom, every influencer, every fashion girly, every bag-chasing wannabe loses their mind trying to cop the same one. You think you're buying luxury? Nah, you're buying celebrity approval, period. And don't even get me started on that moment when Kylie Jenner showed off her insane Hermès closet on the gram. That closet had the internet foaming at the mouth? But real question, how many of those bags did she actually pay for herself? And even if she did, were they really handcrafted in France? Or stitched up in some back room in Shenzhen? Think about it. And now, it's not just celebs running this flex. Influencers are deep in the trenches too. TikTok and Insta are packed with luxury haul and unboxing videos. But what they don't tell you, most of those bags are PR drops, gifts, or sneaky brand deals. These creators are making bank showing off stuff they didn't even buy, just pushing the idea that you're not that girl unless you've got designer on your arm. Meanwhile, the brands, they're laughing all the way to the bank, turning 600 bags into $26,000 in sales just because it popped up on your For You page. That's the kind of grip they've got on the culture. But now, let's really talk about this whole Birkin trap. Somewhere down the line, that bag stopped being just a bag and turned into a full-blown status symbol. But here's the kicker. Hermès don't let just anybody walk in and buy one. Nope. There's a whole system built to make you chase it, and that's where things get real manipulative. Nope. It ain't that simple. You can't just stroll into Hermès and ask for a Birkin like you're buying a smoothie. First, you gotta drop thousands on scarves, belts, shoes, you name it, just to prove you're worthy. Then maybe they'll bless you with the privilege of buying a Birkin. That's not luxury. That's a straight-up luxury cult, and folks are out here lining up, ready to throw money just to beg for a seat at the table. And don't sleep on the resale hustle. Just a few years back, people were flipping Birkins like they were flipping penthouses. Fast profits, big hype. But after Tanner Leather's expose and those factory leaks, oh, it's a different game now. Prices are crashing fast. Because let's be real, if the exclusivity is fake, the craftsmanship is questionable, and the bags are getting stitched in the same buildings as the dupes, why would anyone still drop full price? Buyers are shook, resellers are sweating bullets, and investors finally realizing that luxury bags might not be the cash cows they thought they were. Word is, someone tried to sell their Birkin 30 in that grizz asphalt color, with the palladium hardware, mint condition, barely touched. It's an AMP, meaning it was made in 2021. But even that bag isn't moving like it used to. The market is wobbly, and collectors are panicking. Here's where it gets even messier. Plenty of celebs and influencers out here are rocking dupes while still tagging the real brands like it's nothing. Why? Because they want to stay trending without torching their bank accounts? Insiders say some stylists even pull up with fakes, throw on a branded tag, and ride that clout wave all the way to Fashion Week invites. It's all optics, all illusion, and nobody's checking receipts. It's all one big illusion. Yep, plain and simple. The whole system? It rewards the look, not the truth. So next time you see your favorite celeb flex in a luxury bag, don't just assume it's real or that they even care. It's not the bag that's selling, it's the branding. That little logo is doing all the heavy lifting. So who's actually winning in all this? The brands? Still cashing out. No slowdown there. Celebs? Still racking up checks, sitting front row at Fashion Week? Influencers? Still getting flooded with PR boxes and red carpet invites? And you? You're the one stuck dropping a whole month's rent, maybe more, on a bag just because it had a moment on TikTok or got tagged in a celeb's post. Meanwhile, the people flexing them probably didn't even buy theirs. So for real, are you buying actual quality? Or are you just buying into the illusion? And just when you think this whole thing can't get any wilder, boom! Hermès ain't hiding behind closed doors no more. They're out here going full-blown legal mode. Word is, they're throwing lawsuits left and right at Chinese manufacturers who had the audacity to spill the tea. And these ain't small-time legal threats. We're talking multiple lawsuits against several factories, all for speaking the truth. Hermès is shouting defamation and intellectual property theft. But let's call it what it is. They're mad they got caught red-handed. And the timing? Couldn't be worse. Social media's running wild. Receipts are everywhere. And the luxury lie is starting to unravel in real time. Ever since the US slapped heavy tariffs on Chinese imports, luxury brands got forced to show what's really going on behind those showroom curtains. And guess who's sweating the most? Hermès. Why? Because when your so-called French craftsmanship is actually being stitched up in Shenzhen, that's not just a PR problem. It's a full-blown identity crisis. This expose didn't just spill tea. It cracked open a whole system built on smoke and mirrors. Luxury today ain't just about high-end materials. It's about perception, curated fantasy, and status symbols. But when that illusion starts breaking down, the whole empire starts to shake. Hermès ain't just trying to protect their reputation. They're out here fighting to survive. 'Cause if the truth keeps spreading, people won't stop at questioning Hermès. They'll start side-eyeing everybody. Louis Vuitton, Prada, Chanel, all the heavy hitters. And once that Made in France label stops meaning something, that's when the luxury game loses its power. Right now, Hermès is in full damage control, pointing fingers, lawyering up, launching lawsuits, doing anything to silence those factories that dared to speak out. But let's keep it real. It might be way too late. The genie's out the bottle, baby. And once the internet grabs a secret, it never lets go. So, now that you know what's really going down, are you still gonna drop $20,000 on a bag made in the same warehouse that boxed up your Amazon return or a DH Gate knockoff? For real? Think about that. Hit that like button if this made you rethink your favorite luxury brand. Subscribe for more savage deep dives into fashion industry drama. Share this with someone who still thinks their Birkin is stitched up in Paris. And drop a comment, 'cause I need to know how you're feeling after this one. So let's talk. Should celebs be held accountable for hyping up overpriced luxury that's all smoke and mirrors? If the illusion's broken, are these brands even worth it anymore? And be honest, would you still flex that Hermès if the tag said made in China loud and clear? This rabbit hole goes way deeper. And trust me, the next video? Even messier. You do not want to miss it. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're ready for more fashion truth bombs, share this with someone who needs a reality check, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Catch you in the next one!